September 2025, Kathmandu burns. Parliament is in flames. The Prime Minister flees under army escort. And behind it all, Gen Z. This is the story of how Nepal's youth turned anger into a revolution against corruption, nepotism, and the silencing of their voices. A story the world must pay attention to. Chapter 1. The Roots. Nepal, a landlocked nation of 30 million, has lived under the shadow of instability for nearly 2 decades. Since the monarchy was abolished in 2006, democracy has delivered not prosperity, but paralysis. In just 19 years, Nepal cycled through more than a dozen prime ministers. Coalitions collapsed overnight. Leaders promised reform, but instead carved up ministries like spoils in a family feud. Corruption seeped into every pore of society. Politicians flaunted mansions in Kathmandu's elite neighborhoods, drove imported SUVs, and sent their children to universities abroad. Meanwhile, public hospitals lacked medicine, schools ran without teachers, and potholes swallowed the roads. The youth carried the heaviest burden. Unemployment hovered at 16%, and even college graduates couldn't find stable work. Every year, more than 500,000 young Nepalis applied for labor permits to work abroad, mostly in the Gulf or Malaysia, where they toiled in construction, factories, or as domestic workers. For Gen Z, 40% of Nepal's population, life felt like betrayal. They grew up in a democracy, hearing stories about freedom and opportunity. But the reality was dysfunction, nepotism, and exile. They were promised a nation. Instead, they were told to leave it. Chapter 2. The Spark. Then came the final insult. In late August 2025, the government announced a sudden ban on social media. TikTok, Instagram, even X all blocked. The official excuse? National security. But everyone knew the truth. It was a gag order. For months, online campaigns had exposed corruption, mocked ministers, and amplified scandals. The government decided if they couldn't control the narrative, they would silence it. But for Gen Z, social media wasn't just fun. It was their voice, their income, their art, their activism. It was the only space where they felt heard in a society dominated by older elites. Imagine waking up and finding every app gone. No reels, no memes, no friends posts, no voice. That's how the fire started. The ban was not just censorship, it was theft. And theft, in Nepal's boiling cauldron, became the spark. Chapter 3. The Rise. It began quietly. A few dozen students in Kathmandu printed placards overnight. By September 5th, they gathered at Durbar Square. Ban corruption, not social media, they chanted. Police arrived quickly, firing tear gas to scatter them. But the crackdown backfired. Videos of the chaos slipped out through VPNs, foreign SIM cards, and encrypted apps. Within hours, clips were circulating worldwide. Gen Z screaming through smoke, police swinging batons, young women crying as they rinsed pepper spray from their eyes. By the next day, protests spread. 5,000 became 50,000. Students, artists, unemployed graduates, street vendors, everyone joined. The creativity was electric. Flash mobs danced in marketplaces, mocking politicians. Murals appeared overnight, painting ministers as pigs in suits. Underground live streams broadcast from rooftops, narrating events like guerrilla journalism. One young woman stood with her cracked phone, facing a line of riot shields. Her live stream carried her words to thousands watching abroad. Our future is not for sale. That clip went viral across South Asia. Suddenly, the world was watching. Chapter 4. The Inferno, September 8th. The day protests turned to war. Stones clashed with batons. Molotovs flew against armored trucks. Water cannons drenched screaming crowd. By nightfall, 19 people were dead. But instead of breaking the movement, the blood fueled it. Students organized safe houses in alleyways. Volunteers mapped escape routes using Google Earth. Crowdsourced funds bought helmets, shields, and medical kits. Doctors set up underground clinics in temples and hostels. The government thought banning TikTok would silence Gen Z. Instead, it taught them to fight like gamers, strategic, adaptive, decentralized. Then came September 9th. At dawn, tens of thousands marched toward Parliament. Police barricades crumbled under sheer numbers. Flames lit the sky as crowds stormed the building. Inside, chairs were overturned, Portraits of leaders ripped down, documents scattered into bonfires. Outside, luxury cars belonging to ministers torched, symbols of excess devoured by rage. The Prime Minister's official residence was breached and set ablaze. By the time the army secured the area, 25 people were dead and hundreds injured. By afternoon, the Prime Minister resigned, escorted out under heavy guard. His face, once smiling on campaign, was now immortalized in meme, the man chased out by Gen Z. Chapter 5. Lessons for the World. Nepal's TikTok revolution wasn't led by parties or generals. It was led by students with cracked phones and unstoppable will. 3 quick lessons. 1. Digital rights are untouchable. Ban voices online and the streets will erupt. 2. Nepotism fuels rage. When leaders' kids thrive abroad while millions struggle, anger explodes. 3. Youth aren't passive. They're global, organized, and fearless. Nepal is just the latest, certainly not the last. Silence memes, songs, and voices. And you don't kill dissent. You create dynamite. Nepal's leaders lit the fuse. Gen Z struck the match. And the world saw Kathmandu burn, in flames and in hope. Could this happen in your country? Like, share, and subscribe for more.